Hello and welcome to another episode of That Engineering Chat. It feels like it's been a little while since I've been sat here talking to anyone in our exciting industry about what's coming up. And yeah, it's really exciting for me this morning to be talking to someone who I only met for the first time last October at a certain exhibition, and that is Tim. He is the managing director of Mark Allen Exhibitions. For those of you who don't know what that looks after, there's quite a few things we're going to cover today, but specifically is the EDS show, where we took that engineering chat to last year. So we thought, let's get him in, let's have a proper chat with him, and let's really get stuck into what the exhibition world is like. And it's their 10-year anniversary this year. So welcome, Tim, to our humble abode.
Thank you very much. It is lovely to be here.
It's lovely to have you here. You've come a little way this morning, so thank you for...
Had a nice little drive.
Had a nice morning.
Sun is shining. Everything's good.
Everything is good. And so 10 years, that's pretty exciting. Have you been there for 10 years, Tim?
No, I've only been there for 2 of those 10 years.
Okay.
So no. It's great to be the custodian while it is having its 10th year birthday. But no, I joined in July 2020, so at the start of the pandemic. Great time to be the managing director of an exhibition business.
So you started at the beginning of the pandemic. What were you doing before?
So prior to joining Mark Allen, I was the chief operating officer of a company called Ocean Media.
Okay.
So I've been in media and events for 22 years. So it's been my sort of only career.
Yeah.
So anything to do with media publishing. I've worked across many different industries, but always been delivering exhibitions, delivering magazines, conferences, awards, everything you associate with a media company.
So you've been at another company for a while, and then so tell me how that happened at the beginning of the pandemic. This was clearly something that was warming up a bit before the pandemic, or did you just think, it's the beginning of the pandemic, I'm going to go and change companies altogether? I mean, that's quite a big thing. So, I mean, yeah, let's start there then. So you start somewhere that you've literally a brand new company, and then a pandemic happens that no one has ever dealt with before, let alone, I mean, I can literally remember being in this office with my team, and we were talking to clients about exhibitions, and they were talking about starting to have to pull out of exhibitions, and that was actually the first sort of leading signal to us of how drastic things were going to be. A lot of our engineering clients were like, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. How was that for you guys as an organisation?
Yeah, that was very, very challenging. No question. The last 2 years have been probably the most challenging in my career, and probably for every exhibition organiser. At first, we assumed it wouldn't be that long. There was a lot of rescheduling of events and that sort of things. And then we're looking at alternatives. Hence, we introduced the virtual events. Yeah. So all the time talking to customers, all the time trying to understand what it is people needed. And we were able to pivot, flex. And this is the advantage of Mark Allen as a group. We're a publisher predominantly. There's 450 staff at Mark Allen. Only 70 of those work in the exhibition business.
Goodness me.
So we have 105 different brands, and we are experts at delivering information. So the being able to sort of deliver the exhibition information and experience in a different way was relatively easy for us. Yes, as individuals, we had to learn how to use new online platforms and the like, but actually the concept of being able to do it wasn't that difficult, and we did very well. And as a group, we did well. We didn't have to make loads of redundancies. We actually had really strong trading years in sort of record profits.
Wow!
Because we saw growth in the traditional publishing brands.
Yeah.
So subscriber numbers went through the roof because people were at home and they wanted information. So we moved fast. We changed plan, tact, strategy every 15 minutes, as everyone did. But it was, and we had to learn a lot of new things. But we've survived. We've certainly come out of it stronger.
Yeah.
And certainly the individuals across the exhibitions team have grown, have developed, have a whole new skill set, a whole new sort of way of working as well.
Yeah, and you've got a great team. When we came along to EDS and worked with you, we absolutely loved the experience. It was brilliant. And that was that the first exhibition? Because obviously there's a lot of exhibitions that you do. Was that the first one of last year?
No, I think that was about the 8th.
Was it?
So yeah, I have an absolutely fantastic team.
Yeah, you do.
Absolutely, they're all top in what they do. But that window from September to November last year, when events came back, there was so many events sort of backed up that we were doing 2 a week.
Goodness me!
And by sort of mid-October, when it was EDS, we'd already seen a few off.
Is that why you're a bit tired and you'd only talk to me for 10 minutes and not 45? You did very well, but still.
That's exactly why. I can't remember where I'd come from prior to EDS, but there was lots of, landing back in Heathrow, jumping straight in the car, driving to the NEC, that sort of thing. But it was obviously good for me as well, because they were events I'd seen for the first time.
Yeah.
So I did get about a bit.
And how certainly EDS, when we were there, it was great. Everyone said that they had a really good show. Was that the same for all the other shows as well? Did that?
Yeah, it was. So
I know you can't say it was absolutely rubbish. Everyone had a really bad time, but no, it was a really good feeling of people being out in person. It was really good energy.
That was certainly the case. So in the shows from sort of September through to November, they varied from being 20 to 40% down on attendance.
Okay.
But some were a little bit smaller as well. So that ratio of people to exhibitors wasn't so harmed. But the people there wanted to do business.
Yeah, they did.
And as a result, everyone had great shows. So all of our shows, bar one, were slightly down on visitors, but all of our shows had record rebooks.
Brilliant.
So that's something we use to measure the success of the show. Put your money where your mouth is type thing. Will you sign up to next year? And we had, across all of them, record rebooks. And now we're seeing now all of our shows are now 20 to 40% up.
Wow.
On visitors. So that kind of pent-up demand has moved through. So the record rebooks, I'm running next week. I've got the first show that we're running again since lockdown. So the show was traditionally run in March, but because it was pushed back, it ended up running in September last year. Wow. It's now running again in March, so it's only been 5 months between the shows.
Goodness me.
Record rebook, record registrations, and you can see that sort of pent-up demand and desire for people to be back together doing business has really come through.
And I think that was certainly feedback that we were getting from people we were talking to, certainly exhibitors, was that the people that were coming to the shows wanted, as you mentioned, wanted to do business. There was less sort of, historically over the years, certainly a long time ago, it was quite a nice day out sometimes to go to an exhibition, but certainly also a good opportunity to see lots of people. Now more so than ever, time is precious, and I think, everyone just said to us that it was really good quality. So maybe there wasn't as many people, but they were really good quality conversations that they were having, which seems to be the case a lot, I think, at the moment. Everyone's a bit more specific about what they need. I
agree, and I think that's a really important point. So we found that time is very, very precious, and we, as a B2B publisher, we publish very specific magazines and information because you only need to know what you need to know for your job.
Yeah.
You don't need to know anything else.
Yeah.
So in the world of business, you want the information you need exactly as you need it. And with all of our shows, that's what we try and do. So actually, with EDS, it's a part of the engineering piece. With Subcon, again, it's part of it. We're not trying to do everything. We're trying to meet the needs of those customers who need that information, who need those products. And, virtual and digital is there as an alternative. And that is a way of providing, it's easy for people to get information, but it's not easy for people to get a really detailed conversation or a really detailed engaging discussion with somebody that the shows offer.
Yeah.
And I think that's the joy of being specialist. And I do think I'm waffling.
You're not waffling at all. You're not waffling at all. I was going to say to you, when you sort of mentioned on Subcon, and so what are the main core exhibitions that you do? Certainly in the engineering world, in this sort of industry, what would be the main ones that you would say that, and how are they different? You know, why would I want to go to one or not, or why would I want to go to all of them? You know, it'd be interesting to hear.
I think so our main engineering exhibitions are Subcon, which is a subcontracting show. That takes place at the NEC. That runs every June. And then engineering design show takes place in Coventry Building Society, and that runs every October. They are very, very different in what they do and who they appeal to. You know, so with EDS, you know, that is engineering design. You know, that's a very different discipline, and obviously subcontracting is looking at the supply chain, and again, very, very different to the, you know, sort of the front end design piece versus the kind of, you know, fulfillment and supply chain. So they are not trying to overlap with each other. We run them as very, very separate things. In the same way we run all of the other exhibitions, be it on dental, be it on education, be it on ICT and things like that. So, you know, we understand exactly who wants to go to the event, understand what they need to get from the event, and then we usually have, a bit like we have on the engineering side, where we've got Manufacturing Management Magazine, The Engineer, Eureka, New Electronics. You know, all of these magazines are able to, you know, contribute to the exhibitions to make sure they're doing the right thing and meeting the needs of people. And
what do you think you learned from, certainly, we sort of touched on Reconnect, and we'll talk about that again in a minute, but and, you know, virtual shows, but what do you think you learned from being through lockdown and then having those exhibitions last year? Have there been any changes to the way you do things this year? You know, is there anything that you're like, well, actually we could do that slightly differently, or we need to do this differently, or is it just, you know, bigger and better?
It's not bigger and better. I think the one thing that virtual or digital did was it really improved the transparency. So with digital events, everyone can see exactly how many people are there. Everyone can see exactly who those people are, and the participants, the exhibitors, the sponsors get very clear data reports as to who engaged with them at different parts. And this, I think, this will stay as the digital play will be around data, will be around collecting leads, and that side of the experience. There's no question that just transfer of information, digital is brilliant. You know, it goes to so many people. That's why we're doing, you know, a podcast right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the reach is huge, and it can be consumed at the convenience of the, you know, the audience. So that's there. That's there to stay. But the piece that live events offer is the deeper conversation. You know, the actual buying experience, the relationship piece. And so you can combine the two, where you've got the sort of lead generation, high volume activity that digital offers. And we're all doing this already, right? Prior to going to an exhibition, the exhibitors are all promoting on their social media, I'm going to be there.
Absolutely.
You know? So it's a bit like us running EDS Reconnect 6 months out from running EDS live as the show. You know, it's about having the multiple touch points through the year, keeping people thinking about the brand, keeping people informed of what's going on in the industry by providing that information, providing the great speakers. But going back to your original questions, what's changed is we have to offer that level of transparency on our live events. So be able to prove to our exhibitors that they did get this ROI because of this activity. And actually, you know, the sort of mystery of who are these 10,000 people walking around the room, we need to remove, and we need to be able to make sure that everyone can get hold of the person they want to get hold of at the event. And we're working on different ways of being able to do that.
And so 10 years this year, that's amazing, isn't it? 10 years. So what's happening this year? Tell me what's happening. I mean, years. I do know, but I'm pretending I don't know, Tim. What is happening this year?
We've got lots of great things happening this year. You know, I want to say we're having a massive party, but you know, we're not. It's not necessarily a party, but it is making it an extra special event.
Yeah.
The venue itself has just had a £7 million refurb.
Has it really?
So it's got a new entrance.
Goodness me, has it?
Yeah.
Where?
At the other side.
Really? Oh, that's going to be confusing for people like me that find it hard to find the entrance to anywhere.
The original entrance is still there.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
But yeah, so there's that going on. We've got the most advanced humanoid robot attending the event.
I heard about this. I really want to talk to the robot.
AI and AB.
Honestly.
So artificial body with relatable human gestures.
That's just... honestly, I need to talk to that robot. That would be probably up there on... Other than talking to yourself, Tim, that would be up on my list of, tick list. That would be amazing. Goodness me.
And I think that's a differential. That shows what the engineering design show is in comparison to other shows. So, it's not about workwear and tools. It's about the art of the possible. And I think this, having people like the Amica robot.
Yeah.
We've also got airspeeder drones, so the manned drones.
Wow.
For the racing. So this is the first electric flying racing series. It's going to be amazing, Red Bull, here they come.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Crazy drivers.
Goodness me.
So it is that really interesting advances in engineering that we want to be covering off. And so we've been going out looking for the things that are going to make people want to go to Coventry this year.
And that's okay. So that's interesting as well, because is that something that you've always sort of, I'm sure you've always been very proactive to do that, to go out and source, but there's obviously a need for a show like this. So it's quite reactive as well, isn't it? Because people want to come to an exhibition. But do you think you'll be able to do that a bit more this year? Like literally go out to people and go, come and exhibit, that, like you say, with the robots, a bit different. Is there more of that happening now?
I think so. I think there's a lot of people who've been beavering away for the last 2 years and now want to show them what they've done.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we're seeing. We're seeing the fruits of everyone's labours and everyone's hard work over the last 2 years.
That's a good way of looking at it, yeah.
And I think that's what's really interesting. I should say with the airspeeder, actually, there's a simulator that allows people to try and drive one.
Oh, my word.
So all the attendees can have a go.
That would be quite a long queue.
I think so.
Of people trying to go on that, weren't there? And you're still going to do you're still going to do Reconnect. We're still doing Reconnect. So Reconnect was very, very successful. Yeah.
We had varying success with virtual events. And what I like about what's happened through a lockdown is, as an exhibition industry, we were terrified about digital taking over live events. And I've been in the industry for 22 years, and certainly for the last 15 of those, it's been, when will digital take over?
I know. Yeah.
And what we've learned is it's not going to. They're complementary, but it does not meet that human need.
Yeah.
And so we are bringing back Reconnect. As I say, it's going to run 27th to 28th of April. So entirely online, 6 months out from the live show. So again, give an opportunity to have everyone benefit from the EDS content, the EDS speakers, but running online, completely free. All of those exhibitors who are at the physical event get to attend and exhibit at the virtual event.
Brilliant. Okay.
And again, that's for free. This is about us continuing our service to our customers through the year. So yes, you pay us to have a stand in October, but we want to make sure that October is absolutely brilliant for you. So you've got leads teed up, and that we can help you get to your customers throughout the year, because that's what we do at Mark Allen Group. That's what we do with the engineer. That's what we do with Eureka. That's what we do with all our publishing brands and all of our websites. We're not just one day, 2 days.
No,
we're all year round, helping our customers grow, helping our customers achieve their business goals.
And with the with Reconnect as well. So if people, obviously that's amazing. If you're an exhibitor at EDS and you get to do that as well, like you say, that's a fantastic opportunity to have something that tail ends both ends of the year. But if you were someone like, say someone's listening to this now and thinks, actually, I can't do EDS, or, I'm not sure, because some people might not have done a big exhibition like that. They might be nervous or whatever reason. Can they do something like Reconnect on its own solus, or do they have to be the two sort of, could they just come and be a part of that without doing the EDS show later on in the year? Does that work like that or not?
I'm sure they can. we will always.
We'll find a way if anyone's interested.
We'll find a way. Yes. We'll find a way. As I say, we want to make sure we help as many people as possible.
Yeah. So Reconnect, brilliant. Then what's next? What comes up next?
Then it's Subcon.
Yeah, Subcon.
So
I've never been to Subcon. I'm very excited about this because we are coming along. We're going to come along with that engineering chat to Subcon, and I've not ever been. So I want to hear about this, please.
Well, it takes place straight after the Platinum Jubilee.
Brilliant. We'll have our flags. No, that's cool. That's exciting.
But it is important because
it is.
We celebrate the best of British.
Yeah.
At subcontracting at Subcon. So yeah, it's important to be there. It's important to sort of making those kind of references and helping British industry.
Yeah.
That's really, really important. At the moment, it's 80% sold out.
That's amazing.
So we're very, very happy with that. We've got some big names there, and we always do have the big names at Subcon.
Yeah, and that's the venue for Subcon is. Whereabouts is Subcon?
National Exhibition Centre.
National Exhibition Centre.
Birmingham.
Yeah, Birmingham.
Right in the centre.
Fantastic.
So great location, very convenient. We are welcoming back. We're welcoming back our international pavilions as well this year. So we ran Subcon in September, but had no international pavilions because it was, still just right at the end of lockdown.
Yeah.
And so we've already got China signed up. We've got Turkey signed up, and we've got a few more. The Czech Republic, a few more coming along. So we will have all the international pavilions again. So we get to celebrate the best of British, but also we get to celebrate the kind of global supply chain that we all.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, and will there be any extra special things for the Jubilee that's be going on, or for the 10 years? I mean, that's a lot for you guys to be celebrating, isn't it? Will there be things happening that you'll be getting any special things happening at Subcon at all? I mean, that sounds like a lot of special things going on anyway, Tim, to be honest. But I imagine there'll be a lot of celebrating going on.
With Subcon, we're celebrating 45 years.
Oh, God, okay.
So, EDS is great with 10, but it's only 10.
45 years?
45 years old.
Oh, my goodness me. That's a lot.
It is a very specific event that has a very loyal following.
Yeah.
And, it's great. The exhibitors will... within 10 minutes, they can have the right person walk on their stand, place a massive order. And we know a few of these last year with amazing brands working on. Somebody I've been trying to get hold of that person for 3 years.
Well, this is it, isn't it?
Just place the order. So it's co-located with Engineering Expo. It's co-located with Manufacturing Management Show.
Yeah.
There's a lot there, a lot to offer. And there'll be obviously a very, very big cake to celebrate 45 years.
There'll be a massive cake to celebrate 45 years. But that is the key thing with exhibitions as well, isn't it? Like you say, you've been trying to get hold of someone for 3 years. It really is amazing opportunity to be able to speak to people because, and also just to get to see so many customers in one place. Especially now, you can't actually get anywhere in this country on the motorway. It takes quite a long time to get anywhere, doesn't it? So the days of, certainly when I was in sales 20 years ago, I'd sometimes go and see 3 or 4 customers a day. That's just not actually achievable anymore, I don't think, really.
No, absolutely not. And there's an argument for the environmental environmental stance around exhibitions because they do reduce the amount of travel people make, and so everybody coming together to one place is a hugely efficient use of time, efficient use of materials, efficient use of resources. So I think that's it's a good way of looking at it.
It's an important point, isn't it? And certainly with the obviously Mark Allen, your exhibitions, but the publishing as well. And you mentioned that the magazines, obviously you've got the Eureka and the Engineer. We're big supporters of those publications. How have they found things? Have they been finding things have been getting better? It's getting back to normal, or getting back to some sort of normal?
I think they're now back to some sort of normal.
Yeah.
Which is great. They had a really, really good time.
Yeah.
So throughout lockdown, obviously it was a way to talk to people, so the advertising and subscriptions were really, really good.
That's brilliant.
So all of our magazine brands, particularly the engineering ones, but they've all done very well.
That's great
through the last few years.
And it is interesting, like you say, because I certainly remember I can remember being in a sales environment in a publishing house where there were no computers. I mean, literally, I remember that. I know I don't look old enough, but they literally, I can remember. And then I can remember there being one PC that we all shared. And
running to the fax machine to get an order.
The fax machine to get an order, right? I mean, that's just so crazy now. And then I can just about remember when everyone started to email to speak to people. And it was very bizarre that you could speak to this person on the end of an email. Now it is really hard to get to talk to people, and it seems for me one or the other. You've either got you can't get hold of anyone at all, or you've got real pushy salespeople, which your guys aren't, I'm going to say, because they're great when they talk. But do you know what I mean? There doesn't seem to be a good balance. It's tricky, isn't it? But the digital world is not. It's not made magazines absolute. We all love our magazines, don't we?
Absolutely. The feel of the paper in your hand.
Yeah.
And you get a kind of completeness to it. So, when you read a magazine, if you read it from cover to cover, you think, right, I'm up to date.
Yeah.
I'm up to date. I've got everything I need this week or this month, depending on how frequent the publication is.
Yeah.
With a website or with the internet, how do you know when you've finished?
Yes.
How do you know when I've got all the information in the editor? If you trust that editor, as we know, our editors are exceptional. If you trust that editor, you know that editor's selected for you everything you need to know that week or that month, and you can't get that in any other way.
No.
So it does work well, and obviously there's page turning PDFs and all those different things, but they're a little bit annoying.
Yeah. And also I think there's something about having content in print. It's something really valuable to have content in print, whether either it's your content in print or you're talking about something. When you see it in a magazine, it stays there. Whereas I think on a website, it doesn't. Everything feels so quick these days, doesn't it? Everything feels so, it's there 1 minute and then it's gone. And I think a magazine's rather lovely because it stays that way.
And I think it's a bit like vinyl. So
absolutely.
The publishing companies are, their values are high at the moment.
Yeah.
And actually, what's happened with print is it's taken the dive, and now it's on a steady increase again.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's it's not going to go crazy. And there continues to be, digital is still very obviously crucial. But what's great is it's now found its value, and it's coming back up again.
Yeah.
And that's working really well for us.
Yeah.
And we've got some amazing brands that they were sort of offloaded by bigger publishers because they thought, oh, print's dead, or it didn't quite. But now we're enjoying the revival with them.
That's good. I love that example actually, that of vinyl, because that's so true, isn't it? You think of the likes of Spotify and all these things that came in, and now I've got plenty of friends that love vinyl. You can't beat it, can you?
I think, and live music is the other analogy to draw, and that's with respect to, will people enjoy things digitally or go to events? Well, the music industry has changed completely. And now music is streamed, but the live music industry is massive, and that's how all of the artists make their money now. They make their money from touring as opposed to selling the music itself.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and
so we're seeing that with the events we do and the event attendance that we get. People want to be at these places. People want to be with other people.
Yeah.
And you talked about the sales process. Well, you've got people. If you're making outbound calls, if you're trying to sell something. You're not calling an engaged audience.
No.
Even if they need to buy it, they're not in that right frame of mind. Whereas an exhibition, people are going there to find the solutions that you sell.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the big difference. And so you've got that engaged audience. You know, we don't just talk about engaged being, you know, they're in the room with you. We talk about engaged because they want to buy. They need something that the exhibitors at the exhibition provide.
And that's so valuable, isn't it? I mean, to be able to sort of walk in, like you say, they're interested. Yeah. I mean, that's, you know, you certainly don't get that cold calling.
And, you know, no, you don't. and that's what we do. That's what we do as a business. So, you know, we use the theatres, and we use the content, and we use the amazing speakers to attract people to the events. The exhibitors themselves obviously attract people as well. So we make sure that it's curated. We make sure that the exhibitors in the room make sense as well. You put the wrong exhibitor in the room, people are like, well, why are they there? I don't want to buy what they sell. Yeah. You know, I only want to go. It goes back to being a specialist provider of information or specialist provider of services, which we are. Yeah. People want the best use of their time, and the best use of your time is getting exactly what you need quickly. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we try and do.
And do you see exhibitions as the years go on getting even more interactive than they are? Because, I mean, obviously, technologies, like you mentioned about the Red Bull and the drones and the robots, and, you know, things are becoming, it's like sci-fi is becoming real, isn't it? I mean, we didn't quite have a zombie apocalypse, but it is getting very much like that. And every time I certainly go to an exhibition, I'm just astounded, some of the things that I see. But I don't suppose you can have literally drones flying around inside a centre. That's probably not allowed, is it?
We did try it.
Did you?
It's just not
just
great.
For fun.
So we had a drone fly around the rugby pitch in Coventry for one of our critical communications events. Okay. So the police were flying a drone and streaming a video into the main event. So I think things like that are a bit more interesting. People do want to see how the products themselves work and are used. Interactivity around the content, interactivity around the people who are there. So being able to message people who are also at the exhibition with you, I think is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll certainly be doing more of that sort of thing.
And obviously we got to come and chat to people. What sort of people are we going to be talking to? All sorts of people. I'm excited because we're coming along to, I think I'm chatting to someone at Reconnect, but obviously we're going to be at Subcon and at EDS. I mean, I did get to speak to the mayor. I don't know quite how you're going to top that one, Tim.
The mayor's coming back.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Brilliant. I could chat to him again. That'd be nice.
So the mayor has put it in his diary forever.
Brilliant.
I think he had such a great time. Who are you going to see? Well, obviously you've got engineered arts. Yeah. You're going to be there with their robot. Yeah. The suppliers, you've got Worth, Solid State, DVR, Small Fry. Yeah. They're all going to be there at Reconnect.
Brilliant.
High-tech electronic materials. Will be covered, thermal management materials. So lots of different
people to talk to, different sectors.
Different topics and sectors,
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. And I mean, I feel like we've covered most things. Is there anything else we need to cover?
I don't know. I feel I should be doing more of a sales pitch for the events.
But I don't think you need to.
They stand up on their own and do that by themselves.
Yeah, I don't think you need to. And I think the thing is that I think you guys are, you are always out there. You're very proactive. And like you say, you've got great publications that showcase what you do. Because again, those are great opportunities to talk about the events, aren't they, and the exhibitions that you do. And also you're doing things like this, chatting to us. And I mean, the 10-year anniversary for EDS and the 45 years, you're just going to be busy eating cake by the sounds of it, to be honest. So I don't know if you need to do much more sales on it.
I think certainly with EDS, it's nice to reflect back to the first event. Yeah. And there'll be a lot of what's happened over the last 10 years, and I think that's going to be a nice story.
Where was the first event ever?
It's always been in Coventry.
Always, always, always. I mean, that's 10 years is, goodness me, that's amazing, isn't it? Do you have footage of 10 years ago? Can you still?
We have all the marketing materials. Yeah. We know what the messages were. We have the program. So yeah, we've got
I don't know if I want to know I don't know if I want to see myself in 10 years, 10 years ago. I think that might make me a bit sad, actually. So maybe I'll change what I'm doing in the next few years. But you've been doing it 2 years. So that's all right.
I've got a few speakers who are going to come back, make an appearance.
What speakers have you? Because, I mean, I spoke to some fantastic people. I mean, really interesting. Way beyond me, quite honestly. I was like quite out of my depth with a few university lecturers, and really, really interesting. Is there anyone that you're really looking forward to hearing from?
I think with EDS, we're still putting together the program.
Yeah, so it's still
in those early days, but
and again, is that something that people can say? Oh, I really want to be a part of that and contact you?
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. So contact me, contact Simon, or anyone on the website, anyone on the team, because
that's a great opportunity. Okay, so that's important. So if anyone wants to find out more about any of the exhibitions or about what you guys do, where's the best? Because there are lots of different pots, aren't there? So where should they go? Do you want them all to ring you, Tim? Shall I give them your mobile number right now on this podcast? Maybe not.
The website's always the best place.
The
website's always the best place for everything. So it'll always have the most up-to-date content.
Yeah.
It'll always have who's exhibiting, who's sponsoring. We'll always have how to register. Free to register for Subcon, free to register for engineering design. So just type Subcon into Google, you'll get the website. Just type engineering design show into Google, you'll get the website as well.
Amazing. All right. Well, listen, we're so excited to be a part of this with you this year because, like I said, we really enjoyed working with you and love talking to exhibitors. They're a fantastic bunch, as are you guys. So we wish you the best of luck, and anything we can do to help, we're here because we loved it.
And you will be there.
We will. I'm very excited. I'm very excited about my sofas. Simon's promised me. I'm expecting great things from the sofas. So, but no, it's going to be really good, and I think the buzz is going to be even bigger and better this year
for sure
than it was last year. So thank you so much for coming to talk to us today.
You're very welcome.
All right,
very much
Tim.
For the opportunity.
Yeah, no, well, I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.